Welcome, Rida. Assalamu alaikum. Riyadh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, brother?
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. I'm excited to find a name here. I hope I hope I'm not inviting much trouble from you.
No, it's okay. All right. So what is the workshop about exactly? So it's about.
Hold on to your horses for a while, and we're just going to begin. It's nothing surprising.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a friendly chit chat since everything is online. We can't see each other on campus, so I thought of seeing you guys on the screen.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the only difference that it
good.
makes. Yeah, Alhamdulillah.
Okay.
I'm waiting for a couple of guys to connect. Actually, I'm quite unsure about who are the guys coming and who are going to join.
Yeah, I think you should have sent the link instead of a picture because I have to type all those letters and.
Yes, sorry about that. That was I was doing on WhatsApp. I'm just having a filler among the people. I mean, those who have asked for the link, I would have sent to them because I wasn't sure I was going to, and I didn't want to bother much about So only those guys who are willing to.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to mute my mic and let's wait for others to join.
Yeah, okay. Sure. So got a couple of attendees and just a minute to go. As Riyadh has reminded me that I should share the link. I'm trying to share the link through WhatsApp to some of the acquaintances. Probably they would be willing to. Guys, I guess it's time now to initiate the process. Welcome, gentlemen, to today's webinar. It's quite a friendly chit chat. In fact, it's not so serious an issue that I'm going to discuss with you guys. Probably you must be wondering, what is this all about? And am I going to drop a bombshell today? Nothing of that sort. It is more an attempt on reflection on ourselves during this time of crisis, tumultuous, trying time that we are having. And I would like to impress upon certain things that require attention in this passing time. As on the screen you find, try to redefine this term that you are so afraid of, or dreadful, entire globe, entire world is dreadful of. So I have redefined it as, it's COVID, better to be termed as clarion call of value in divinity. You guys must be wondering that why I have turned it into this definition of. Then also try to redefine Corona as not something that affects the entire globe or our humanity. It's more about the way we look at this pandemic and how best, how strategically we can deal with, we can battle it out in our own ways. If you start caring a little bit of ourselves and we try to reorganize and reboot and try to orientate, that would be more helpful in nurturing not only ourselves, our personal life, but also our mother nature that we really care about and we should care about. So it's a clarion call from the nature that we need to listen to carefully. If you don't listen to this shout out from our mother nature, we're going to suffer more than ever. And we must be in a position where no sort of vaccine or would be coming to our rescue. So the rescue plan doesn't come from the vaccine itself. It lies within. Guys, may I request you to mute yourselves while I'm dealing with these slides, and whenever you'd like to share something, you can unmute yourself. Thank you. So I'm here asking you two questions. These two questions, if there is anyone who can get me the right answer to these two questions. There are two fatigues we are afflicted with these days. What are those fatigues? And why are we suffering from these two fatigues? 13 million daily. What do you think, meeting participants? Can you think of the word here? What comes to your mind? I'm scheduled meeting. That's what we are on to, right? Right? So, uh, so it's the Zoom meeting, you know, we are fatigued with. On a daily basis, we have plenty of Zoom meetings to attend. And I have added one distress to you by calling today. But believe me, you aren't going to be empty-handed. If you really retrospect about yourselves and the kind of situation we are caught in. The novel, what comes after that has sickened the whole humanity. I mean, 55 million, at least 55 million people too, who are really suffering from this dreadful disease. Who are they? Which novel is it? Is it a novel that we read? Is the novel something that new? It's our great coronavirus, right? Right, guys? Yeah?
Yes.
So this coronavirus has spread its wings all around the globe, and it doesn't spare the kings, the bureaucrats, or the autocrats or the democratic leaders of the world. I mean, even the most influential people haven't been spared by this pandemic. So, but we will be surprised. We'll be really pleasantly surprised to see that this coronavirus hasn't been so deadly as the others. If you visualize the history of pandemics right from the beginning, inceptions of the time immemorial, you will find that there have been MERS and influenza and Ebola, and they all have taken toll on human lives in one way or the other, probably without vaccine, without medications, and without any care. But it has been taking its toll on humanity in one way or the other. Now, surprisingly, it's not coronavirus, but it's measles that has taken the highest toll on humanity. And it was supposed to be a wrath of the gods. I mean, God was angry and God wanted to punish the humanity. And that's why, you know, God inflicted us with that kind of disease. And the most surprising thing is that even at that time, 16th century, China was blamed for this spread of the virus. In case of Justinian's plague, Byzantine historian, the origin of the plague was ascribed to China and Northeast India, because they believe that it's come via land and sea trade routes to Egypt, where it entered the Byzantine Empire through Mediterranean ports. Now, today we have lots of traveling involved with people, and we can't stay without traveling, right? So we have started quarantining ourselves entire minute, but this is also not new to us. Quarantine things have been going on for so long that the practice of quarantine began during the 14th century in an effort to protect coastal cities in plague epidemics. Cautious port authorities, they wanted 14 days quarantine at the time. Thankfully, we are being quarantined for 15 days or at the most. And measles tops the list, being the most contagious with an RO range of 12 to 18. So what I'm trying to impress upon you guys is that it's not corona alone that we have been afflicted with over the time period. There was a Black Death plague in 1347, 75 to 200 million people were affected, and actually they died, not affected. We have a recovery rate with contact tracing, and we are being told what precautions we can take, and by God's grace, it's not so deadly. It hasn't proven so deadly, except in the cases where we haven't taken extreme care of ourselves. So pandemic, it always tells a message, gives a message, tells a story, and you have to listen to this patiently. So I have termed it as either you perish in the pandemic, as we have put our mother nature at peril, So this could be a sobriquet of, and that's how the COVID is giving a clarion call for value addition, or to believe, to have a renewed conviction in the divinity of Almighty. Regardless of your religious conviction, we must need to have a conviction in the human survival against the odds. If you don't believe in that, we're going to suffer the most in one way or the other. So in order to stay sane in this insane age, the new world order or the new normalcy, that's what we call, is going to be not like before. So it's unlike anything before. It's going to be unprecedented. It's going to be unheard of. It's a lifetime experience for all of us, most of us. Obviously, the strategy to deal with, to battle it out, to fight back this requires not an usual conventional way of looking at this. We need to modify our strategies as we are modifying in the field of teaching or learning or professional development. You can see a slide here. It says promoting 21st century skills, right? So the skills that we are talking about here include collaboration and communication, creativity, and imagination. Okay, well and good. We are getting smarter people by collaborating communication. We are developing critical thinking and problem solving. But despite all this digital smartness or literacy, what we are not acquiring that's really needed in our day-to-day functioning of the world, daily life, is the renewed outlook, is the fresh outlook. Is we need a fresh lease of life, of our opinion, of our ethos, and our beliefs about the quality of life, not the kind of running after certain things, be it materialistic acquisitions, possessions, or so there is fifth thing that's missing here. I want you to guess about what is that fifth thing you don't see here. Actually, that's the most important thing in this small, globalized, village-like world. Of course, the digital world is shrinking. We have access to most of the things and at the fingertips, but we need to have a unified approach, a unison in our collaboration to fight any crisis, be it corona or be it world other issues like poverty, illiteracy, deforestation, or disappearance of the habitats. That's called world citizenship. That's what's missing here. We need to treat ourselves as a world citizen instead of belonging to one particular demographic areas and one nationality with a passport. We have to look at the world as if we are the citizens of the globe, the universe, not in isolation, but in inclusion. So just acquiring certain skills in the name of 21st century is not going to keep us safe and healthy, and is not going to promote our well-being in our life. What we need is to feel grateful for what we actually have got to be proud of, not about what we don't have or we are willing to acquire by our relentless pursuit. Most of the time we work day and night, we slog in the hope of that we will improve our quality of life, but ultimately we get frustrated and we leave tired and we think, oh no, I mean, whatever we have achieved has got no real value. So the real value of the things lies not in the material acquirement, but in being grateful to your neighbor for being helpful, an act of kindness that you have been showered on, the kind of benefit they draw from the other people around you. And if you perform an act of gratitude, believe me, it's going to get back in plentiful measures in some other ways. And that's a most beautiful act that we need to learn how to inculcate among us. So practicing being a bit compassionate would be the great thing to kick off. I request to take a trip down a memory lane and narrate any act of kindness done by you, or an act of kindness to you, and your instinctive reactions about it. And be honest. If you like to share, uh, you can unmute yourself and share one act of kindness, the kind of excitement, the kind of frenzy, the kind of sense of accomplishment, kind of satisfaction that you draw out of that act of kindness towards anyone, be it an animal or be it a flora or fauna, be it our neighbor or acquaintance and whoever you find around, that would fill you with the greatest uh, feeling of satisfaction in life. So try to be grateful for what you have. Try to be a bit compassionate in this crisis time, and try to, all of us, I mean, it's not like, and what we are losing in this pandemic and we are bickering about, we are crying for, we are what, it's not something really valuable. I mean, instead of shallow socializing like picnicking and partying and gossiping, and you can add a whole host of other activities. Usually we spend our time in gossiping, slandering, or night outs with drunken driving. And the list is endless of those activities that we really feel proud of or we enjoy doing. And we really think as if we have achieved so much, we have enjoyed, and that's a temporary sense of, we call it aggrandizement, self-aggrandizement. It's called pandering to the basic instinct of the human beings. And human beings are not born just for basic instinct. We are born with a purpose, with an objective to live up to the humanity and the crisis, the needs of the other people. So if we just sacrifice or shallow socializing or some activities and utilize the same activities for our internalization, for our self-discovery or reformations, I believe that there will be a qualitative change in our personal conviction and personal accomplishments. Pablo Neruda, as all of we know about, perhaps a huge silence. I mean, we also need to quieten ourselves. We don't need the hustle, bustle, and din, and noisy, boisterous atmosphere always to enjoy. There is huge silence, and that interrupts the sadness and never understanding ourselves. If we don't have quietude, we don't have solace in the loneliness, and we will never try to understand our inner world. There's a world outside, but there's an inner world which is more important, which need to be nursed, which need to be fed, and all those instincts, the elevated, the profound instincts need to be nurtured. So attention, if you attend to your inner self, that's what is called the real prayer. And we pray, all of us, in one way or other, whether you go to the mosque or church or synagogue, we need to pray and we need to be attentive fully. So in order to see what kind of injustice being done in this part of the world and what is the threat to justice, how can we be fairer and moderate and be helpful and be compassionate towards others. What is need of the hour is the kind of mutuality, and who will know better than ourselves in this crisis moment, that we have come to realize. And we're going to, I would like to show a small video that will show you how important is wisdom instead of simply attaining the knowledge.
We live in a world awash with information, but we seem to face a growing scarcity of wisdom. And what's worse, we confuse the two. We believe that having access to more information produces more knowledge, which results in more wisdom. But if anything, the opposite is true. More and more information without the proper context and interpretation only muddles our understanding of the world rather than enriching it. This barrage of readily available information has also created an environment where one of the worst social sins is to appear uninformed. Ours is a culture where it's enormously embarrassing not to have an opinion on something. And in order to seem informed, we form our so-called opinions hastily, based on fragmentary bits of information and superficial impressions rather than true understanding. Knowledge, Emerson wrote, is.
So we see it's not the knowledge alone that accounts for our real acquisition. Learning acquisition. It's not about just storing knowledge, adding to the knowledge, and even adding the skills. That's not the primary task of the real achievement, the human progress, and the achievement that we have made so far. Now, if we talk of the stress level, the 21st century, full of digital literacy and digital platforms all around, and the flood of information, and with the click of a button, we reach up to the thousands of people, and without any real connectivity or empathizing with the others, we find the stress word was first coined by, it was pioneered by in 1950s by this physician physiologist, and he gave the real scientific community attention the effects of stress on physical health and popularizing the concept around the world. But today, surprisingly, and that's not something good to hear, the stress is the only word which is pronounced the actual way it's being written in all languages of the world. Isn't it surprising that this word has got a universal appeal? That means the whole world appears to be stressed with something or the other. So it's not you alone, it's not we alone, because our mind has become Pandora's box of teething problems, the pressing problems of day-to-day life, the mundaneness, the tasks, the kind of obligations, whether it's domestic or professional or on all fronts. So we are bombarded with lots of emotional tortures and tumultuous situations going on in our brain. And we hardly get to focus on what is primarily important, the kind of exploring our inner self, our internalizing the values that we have to live up to. So values are being replaced with what? Efficiency. If you can work and attain and acquire and possess, and the material wealth accumulate over the years, you're supposed to be the most successful individual. But ultimately, you've come to realize that this is a hollowness, a kind of hollowness. That's not a substantial achievement that you have been born with. Sacrificing the whole aesthetic side, that is an aesthetic side of life. That needs to be explored. Instead of developing only skills, with every skill goes the ethics, the morality, the kind of our belongingness, the efficiency of and efficacy, how you're going to prove valuable to this community, to the world, to your country, to your, being a teacher, I understand that being valuable doesn't mean imparting lessons on a daily basis to my learners. It's all about inculcation of my moral values and something that really stays with them even after they graduate. So essentially, in immense majority of children, there is a raw material for a good citizen, also the raw material of a criminal. And I hope you will agree, probably if you disagree about the acquisition or nurturing of, or nature and nurture versus, but still you feel that all individuals have got the innate capability to bring out the best in him by acquiring the right skills, right kind of qualities that we live up to. Now, I'm coming to a point where I leave up to you to reflect on certain things, how to bring out the best in you by rebooting yourself, by altering your outlook, by bringing, defragmenting your hard drive. If you call the brain as a hard drive or disk, how you will go for defragmenting it and allocating the right kind of things in the right space. So the center solid is you, it's not the other things. And you must evolve over the time by defeating destructive attitudes and internalizing the good thing. Negative values, remove the negative values, whether you are a parents or the teachers or influential caretakers. Break free of the old defenses. Don't go for hackneyed on age-old convictions and all. Try to break free from your bondages, break free from the old defenses, develop your own value system and approach life as you'd like to, as you would want to, as you really live up to in your life, so that you can feel proud of towards the end of this journey. The life is a journey. It's if you call it, it's a sojourn. We have got a limited time in this world to prove to the Almighty that we are here for certain good values, to live up to certain good values. We're not here for just, yes, Ria, self-actualization is the epitome of human existence. That's correct. It's always like, we have to realize that how best, whatever skills or qualities or basic instinct we are endowed with or showered with, have we been able to put to the best possible usage of it? Have we been able to be of value to the society, to the community, to our class, to our circles of friends, and to our, so this is just an underlying message that I wanted to convey to our colleagues, acquaintances, and people towards all over the globe, in fact. And I wanted you guys to take care of yourself before you take care of others. So it's in you, yourself, which is also paramount to the success and failure of your ultimate achievements, your ultimate accomplishments, or consummation of the journey of your life. And nobody can know better than you for yourself what works, what is the best, and what are your values you have inculcated over the years. Regardless of the religious conviction or religion you belong to, it's not just the religion alone. It's all our principles, it's all our values, and it's all our convictions, beliefs that stay with us. And when we leave this world, we'll be remembered for those what we leave behind. We'll not be remembered for what we had accumulated over the years in the form of, or possessed, or what we had been simply proud of. So I'm almost nearing I'm approaching the end of the session. There's a minute left. I'd like any one of you to reflect on, and if you would like to share something, or please do so before I wind up with the best wishes, with my may stay bless all of you guys, and don't worry to the extent that it's debilitating on your health, on your mental health especially, and also physically robust. Stay physically robust, because only a healthy physical mind can accommodate healthy and virtuous thinking, and they go in tandem.